Pull up to the Twitch. This is where you can watch everything live and interact with chat. Link down below. YouTube, welcome back to another video. And for you guys, I got Circle Tune HD. How good graphics killed video games. Now, to be honest, there has been a lot of good graphic video games that we have never touched in our lives. That we seen and be like, bro, that might be gas. I might play that, but never played it. So he's gonna talk about it right here. Let's check it out.
You're watching this video most likely from a phone, possibly a computer or a TV, and if you're really freakish, maybe even a smartwatch.
Hey man, you okay? What are you doing here? Everything all right at home?
But regardless of your chosen device, all of them are made up of a combination of red, blue, and green blips, tricking your stupid reptilian brain that what you're seeing is real, three-dimensional, and filled with millions of colors. And since gaming consoles and displays have grown and evolved over time, gaming has tried to keep up, and for decades it did, with enormous graphical leaps that would genuinely, instantly antiquate what came before it. And if you grew up in the 90s like me, you would have seen modern gaming evolve from this to this, and before my childhood, you'd have moved from arcades to in-home gaming to crazy visuals in your pocket. But if you're growing up now or just getting into gaming in the last 10 or so years, you would have seen modern games go from this to this, but somehow the prices to make and play these things have gone from this to this. What? We are no longer living in a time of meaningful graphical evolution.
I would say this though. My first ever game, and I always say this, my first ever game was on the original Xbox. It was the first Spider-Man game on the original Xbox. Bro, that game was so much fun back in the day. I didn't care about the graphics either. I just played Spider-Man. I was so happy to play Spider-Man, bro.
Half the time, we seem to be going straight fucking backwards with a monstrously higher development cost too. But why, when we look back at two different titles, really from any era, one striving for realism and the other a defined art style, we reliably get the same conclusion? One will soon be replaced by a slightly different looking, equally as expensive to produce product, but style is forever.
Okay.
Ray tracing! I'm sorry, that seemed a little aggressive, but
damn,
I'm being
fuck ray
serious.
tracing.
We've spent years and millions of dollars trying to get reflections and lighting to look slightly better for a very small number of systems and hardware, and all we got was an unoptimized setting that half the time nukes your frame rate so you can—
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, ray tracing in games are terrible, but there is mods in like for Minecraft, for instance. Bro, there's a mod to make your water look realistic, and you don't need ray tracing. Like, bro, mods in video games are better than the actual people that make the game. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like, the mods make it look way 10 times better, bro. Like,
take really pretty screenshots and play the game in an objectively worse manner.
Hey, hi, why don't we put the same time and energy into researching a better optimization strategy so everyone can enjoy every—
This isn't coming from someone that can't run it. I have a
top-of-the-line gamer PC, and
still the first thing I do when I start a game is turn off motion blur and ray tracing. Wow,
now
it's actually a good game. That
and recent.
Mario and Unreal Engine 5.
Bro, what the fuck?
Or against this for me doesn't only come from a place of aesthetic, because I'm sure with time it'll eventually get better. It also comes from a financial one. The entire newly named AA and higher gaming industry are frantically trying to make their games look as ridiculously next-gen as possible. But newsflash, dipshits, the next-gen doesn't fucking exist anymore.
We've
reached gargantuan levels of diminishing returns here, but we're somehow simultaneously chasing the dragon of progress with 100 times more money than ever before. Development costs have ballooned by tens of millions of dollars, which means the prices of games have ballooned with it. Everyone is frantically spending every resource for 1% improvements, and temp jobs, layoffs, and rotating doors are common in the gaming industry now. But I know I don't need to explain how horrible the current game development landscape is, but maybe you haven't considered some of the reasons as to why it exists. Many companies have fallen in love with the video part more than the game part. See, the AAA gaming industry loves
there is some games where it's like
more than developing. They love flashy trailers, banner ads, slogans, catchphrases, and numbers on a screen that mean absolutely nothing because it allows them to pander to their shareholders.
We are the future! They are the stupid...
Oh man, the new AI-powered glunch board with 90 billion terashits of mega slop! You'll be blasting up at 14,000 frames of... What are you playing?
It's a 2D Metroidvania that honestly could probably run on a Sega Saturn.
It's unsustainable from the development to the marketing.
Yo.
Attempting to optimize your futuristic next-gen title for 1,000 different rigs and brands of hardware is a logistical nightmare. And the price
The thing I would say though, I'm scared. I'm happy that GTA, what's up, Ace? I'm happy for GTA coming out, right? But what I'm scared of is how it's gonna run. Honestly, bro. Because really think about it. If you're expecting for the game to look so high quality and next gen and blah blah, you know what I'm saying? I just hope it runs good. You know, I hope it's not like a cyberpunk situation where it makes your fucking computer or system explode. You know what I'm saying? Like hopefully.
price of that nightmare is passed on to the consumer in either rising costs or broken games. Accessibility matters, optimization matters. Video games were never supposed to cost hundreds of millions of dollars, but now that they do, we should be striving for more innovative gameplay, ways to connect
remember when a
people
game
and push
was
the
$60
boundaries
at
on what makes a
GameStop, man.
video game fun.
Oh, but the trailer and the extremely curated gameplay reveal looks so good, right? Look at the reflective puddle!
Oh, fuck. I don't look at the bottles. Do not look at the bottle.
Do not look at the bubbles.
Like video games, you know what else is also
Yeah, this
expensive
is
to
good
produce?
editing, bro.
Animation, and I actually like to pay my team and make sure that they have food.
I did not say you could have 2 hot dogs!
This video is sponsored by Crystal of Atlan and their new crossover with Digimon. What? Crystal of Atlan is a
Is
brand
this an
new
ad?
super
Did bro tell me with an ad? Bro, no. This stuff.
Polio blames, shockingly, actually haven't been impacted by inflation as much as you may think. In the 90s, PS1 games were $50 and Nintendo 64 games were often $60 to $70 fucking dollars. Fun fact, that's actually where the 64 comes from because it was 64, never mind. Adjusted for inflation, that would be like $100 to nearly $150 a pop for each game.
All I got was goddamn clay fighters.
Wait, hold up, this game rules. But the cost
Come
to
on,
make
hold on,
and
this
market a
game
game now
rules.
is like nothing we've ever seen before.
Dad, what's
Halo
your
3's
favorite
budget
game
was around
ever?
$50 million, and that included a world-class,
That is,
one-of-a-kind
like,
marketing campaign that took
amazing
the planet by storm.
quality.
Halo Infinite's was rumored to have a budget of nearly $500 million, a 1,000% increase. And as much as I truly love many aspects of that game, it released
Love
with
Halo.
a fraction of Halo 3's original content, and the marketing wasn't anything near Halo 3's.
So where is the money going?
Well, game dev teams are armies now. Keeping up with modern hardware
Bro,
is beyond
literally.
difficult. The marketing world is wider and more saturated than ever. Shipping physical games is becoming a detriment, and post-release support is now mandatory.
Literally,
This
they're
is
buying
why
mansions
the
with that
prices
shit,
of
bro.
Games are skyrocketing. Subscription-based models that allow companies to pre-plan budgets are getting more popular, and microtransactions and bleed pricing is getting more commonplace. And if we want all of these things to stop, I'm not kidding.
Bro, and that stems with battle passes, little microtransactions that you can buy like VC and you know what I'm saying, Rebucks, Robux, you feel me, little transactions, battle passes, bro. All that helps them out a lot more because they're getting more money out of their process. That's why you see a lot more free to play games, and there's a lot more of transactions that you have to do. So a lot of games are coming out free to play, and in reality, if you want to enjoy your time and you already spend a lot of time on the game, it's gonna eventually you're gonna spend like $20 on that game that you've been playing, because it's easier for a person to come out with a free to play game than have a battle pass that's $10, then have microtransactions or skins or weapon skins or whatever there is, skins or stuff that you can buy so they can get more money. That's literally how Fortnite did it. That's literally how Call of Duty's doing it now. That's literally how every other game that's free to play. Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, like, bro, even though Overwatch was you have to pay for the game back then, but now it's free to play now, you know what I'm saying? But you understand what I'm saying though.
When I say games need to be smaller, look less good, and developers need to be paid more. Blockbuster franchises used to take a few years to make.
Yo,
if
Chad, we
that.
might play Mass
Now it
Effect.
takes
I've
a
been seeing
damn
the game too
decade
much,
to make
bro.
a single game because the expectations are so ludicrously high. That's why indie titles, stylized titles, innovative, weird titles are becoming so popular as of late. And yes, R&D is worth something. Yes, it's in our best interest to strive for better. And yes, we should always be trying to evolve our art. But can we wait until it's more fucking affordable?
No, Nintendo
Nintendo I
Nintendo
feel,
is
is a
so-
perfect example that encompasses all the good and bad here. Check this out. Nintendo launches an extremely affordable console that breaks nearly every record ever, but it runs on leapfrog hardware and a dream. Most of their games look extremely good, even on the weaker hardware, because again, a concrete style is worth far more than high-fidelity realism and graphics. But because of that same lacking hardware, some games run poorly or are forced to make optimization cuts either in graphics or frame rate. So what does Nintendo do? They work on a second console, this time far more powerful than the last, one that can run modern-looking games but maintains the hybrid gimmick. This causes the price to jump up, and even though it's still on the mid-end of modern consoles, it's seen as greedy, despite gamers begging for this exact upgrade.
But I don't want the price!
Then why did you ask for it?
Now, games being $70 to $80 is complete bullshit. It's not the highest we've ever seen by a long shot, but it's also obviously not the cheapest, and the new
Bro.
tariffs and trade war.
Are crazy, bro. The tariffs and trade war. We're not gonna talk about that, bro. I'm not into that politician stuff. But, bro, yo, every game nowadays is literally $100 or $80. No bull, that ass. You might as well spend $100 for every new game you get. So what's the point of paying that $80 or $70 where when you can just buy the deluxe edition on top of everything and just be like, okay, $100 right here, there you go, and just get everything extra. Like, they know what they're doing. It just makes people buy an $100 edition or their most expensive edition because their regular price game where you just get the game and that's it is close to the deluxe edition. You know what I'm saying? So
Doesn't make things easier at all. Why do old Pokemon sprites still ooze charm, but every 3D Pokemon game somehow looks worse than the last? Why are indie games coming out faster than ever, toppling AAA studios and claiming
indie
so
games
many
are
awards?
so
How do
crazy,
these
bro.
Smaller gaming experiences, sometimes made by a single
Yo, I wanna play that.
individual,
What is that
garner
game
such
called?
Massive loving
hold on. I gotta know what this game is called.
favor, toppling AAA
I gotta know what this game's
studios
called,
and
bro.
claiming so many awards. How do these smaller
White Knuckle? Yeah, we might have to play that, bro.
sometimes made by a single
figure out
individual
what that
garner
is.
such massive loving fan bases? Balatro, Vampire Survivors, Slay the Princess, Inscription, Animal Well, Pizza Tower, Blueprints. Because a refined art style will always age better than the skin pores of the month. Because you can tell an emotional story no matter your poly count. And because bold and defined visuals let your game stand apart and speak for themselves no matter the budget. Just take a look at Expedition 33, a small team's first project. An
Shout out
outstandingly
to them,
beautiful
though.
title that blends the two design philosophies together,
They
sacrificing
went absolutely
neither while
crazy.
making a visually distinct and affordable game. By the way, this is like one of the best games I've played in the recent decade. If it doesn't win Game of the Year, I might actually like
Bro.
lose my mind. And this isn't like
That game literally won everything in the Game Awards. Actually, you dropped this before. Okay. But no, that game literally, Expedition 33, I gotta play that on stream. But, bro, that game literally won every reward, bro. I watched everyone play that game.
nostalgia glaze either. This effect happens time and time again, and not just with modern indie games, the gaming industry as a whole. Look, Last of Us is an incredible game, no argument there. One of my favorites, and obviously a very high fidelity and pretty game, especially for 2013. And by the way, do you want your brain to like fucking melt? Last of Us released a year before Dark Souls 2. Yeah, what?
But do we really need to remaster The Last of Us so many times to the point where you can't tell the fucking difference?
Nah, they remastered that game so many times, bro.
What the hell does this mean? You are spending millions on something I can't
What?
fucking say. Now, none of these arguments mean bunk shit if I can't point you towards a modern game that encompasses all of the attributes I'm seeking in a title. Affordable for the consumer, low development costs, balanced and sustainable work environment, gameplay first framework, kinda indie but kinda not indie, no long bloated playtime, stylized graphics that will age beautifully, heart, soul, and dare I say it, fun? What the hell?
Fun?
A game's priority being fun? I give you one of the most innovative, impressive, and genuinely fun games ever created, where there unironically wasn't a 5-minute gap at any point where I wasn't smiling ear to ear.
Split
If I
Fiction.
could sum up this title in one word, it would be
Okay.
hybrexneotheristic, which I made the fuck up because there's no actual fucking word in the English language that can describe how good this game is. From the very first
Okay.
second to the
This is
last,
not the first time I
this
ever
game
heard Split
assaults your
Fiction
senses
is
with
like
a bombardment of creative ideas,
actually
only to throw them away 5
good.
minutes later so they can fit in another dozen crazy mechanics into the same section of the same level. It's downright baffling how many fun and interesting gameplay ideas are packed into this 12-hour game and how often they
It's 12
build
hours?
off of them
Okay.
multiple times. Not only is Split Fiction insanely fun, but it's optimized beautifully, runs like butter, and looks so damn good. I've never seen a
Run like
studio
butter.
flex how comfortable and confident they are like this. It seems like every art asset, set piece, landscape, color, style, and effect was lovingly crafted with zero internal friction. Everything is on full display here with unabashed passion and heart. This game is a 10, but it's not just a 10. It's a 10 that also has a buddy pass, so your co-op partner doesn't even need to pick the already affordable game up to play the entire experience. It's a 10 that pursued a timeless,
he's glazing it.
cost-effective,
I ain't
beautiful
gonna lie,
art
but I gotta
style.
play this
It's
game
a
though.
10 that prioritized the player over the profits. It's a 10 that proved you can still develop a Game of the Year contender without spending hundreds of millions of dollars. But maybe most importantly, it's a 10 that I know I can replay in 20 years and it will still be as good as I remember it.
Type shit. I'm not gonna lie. This was a fire video. I like this. It was kept me, you know, definitely ADHD inducing. Like if I sit someone down that has ADHD, he can't focus on nothing, I can sit him down and watch this, bro. Shout out to Circle Tunes HD. Shout out to bro.